Hi everybody, this video was suggested to me by one of my subscribers, so thank you very much, and this is especially for her but also for everybody else who loves strawberries. So in this video I'm going to show you how to make this cute little strawberry. And this measures about 1 inch by 1 inch, so it's based on an actual size of a strawberry. And all you're going to need is, some green yarn, some red yarn, and some yellow yarn, so a nice sort of pale yellow. And these are all a DK light worsted weight yarn that I'm using for this particular sized strawberry. And we're going to be using a 3mm crochet hook. You can use 2.75 or 3mm, but I recommend a 3mm if you can get it. And we're going to be using some scissors and a yarn needle as well. You're also going to need some toy stuffing to stuff your little strawberry, or you can use yarn scraps, which I will be doing in this video because I've generated so many yarn scraps lately. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to take your red yarn and DK light worsted weight yarn and your 3mm crochet hook, and we're going to work 6 single crochet into a magic circle. Now if you're not sure on how to do the magic circle technique, I will put a link in the description below to my video specifically on the magic circle, so you can go check that out. You could also chain 4 and slip stitch into your first chain to form a loop, and then work the 6 single crochet into that loop if you wanted to. But we're going to work 6 single crochet into a magic circle. So do our little dummy stitch, and my video explains why I do that. And then we're going to work 6 single crochet. That's 1, 2, and 6. And making sure all our stitches face the right way. We're going to pull our tail end tight to bring that, close that circle, that loop. And then we're just going to slip stitch into our first single crochet to join the round. And because we did that dummy stitch, our first stitch is a lot easier to see. Like so. And that's the only time we're going to be joining the round. We're actually just going to work in the round continuously, so you may want to put a little bit of yarn in your stitch now just to keep a stitch count of where you are. But we're going to go straight into the next stitch and work 1 single crochet. And we're going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around, so we've still got 6 stitches. So that's just going into each stitch around doing 1 single crochet. So that's 2, and the last one. And 6. So that's a little bit fiddly, that first round, but do bear with. And by the end of that round you should still have 6 single crochet. So we're going to go on to round 3 now, and we're going to work 2 single crochet into each stitch around now to get us 12. So we're going to go straight into the next stitch. My fridge has decided to start making strange noises. So we go straight into the next stitch and do 1 single crochet, and then another one in the same stitch, and then just repeat that around, doing 2 single crochet into each stitch around. So that's 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6 in the next stitch, and 11 and 12 in the last stitch. So just work 2 single crochet into each stitch around. So by the end of that round you should now have 12 stitches. You should have doubled up to 12. And what we're going to do now is we're going to work just 1 single crochet into each stitch around, back to the beginning, keeping a stitch count of 12. So we just go straight into the next stitch. We're not joining the rounds. Straight into the next stitch and just work 1 single crochet, and then 1 single crochet into each stitch around, so you still have 12. So that's 3, and the last one 12. So by the end of that round you should still have 12 stitches, because we just work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. And moving on to round 5, we now want to go straight into the next stitch. We need to work 1 single crochet in the next stitch by itself, and then in the next stitch we're going to work an increase of 2 single crochet. So that's 2 in the same stitch, that's 1, then another 1 in the same stitch. And then we're going to go back to just doing 1 single crochet in the next stitch by itself. And then we're going to do an increase again of 2 single crochet in the next stitch. That's 2 in the same stitch, 1 and 2. And we're just going to repeat that round, just doing 1 single crochet by itself, and then 2 single crochet in the next stitch, until you've got 18 stitches by the end of that round. Okay. Okay, so just coming up to the last stitch, we end on an increase of 2 single crochet. So that's 17 and 18. Okay, so by the end of round 5 you should have 18 stitches, and it should look a little something like that. So we're going to go straight into the next stitch for round 6, and this time we're going to work 1 single crochet by itself in the next 2 stitches. So we do 1 single crochet by itself, then 1 single crochet by itself, and then we're going to do our increase of 2 single crochet in the next stitch. So that's 1 and 2. We're just going to repeat this round around now. So we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 single crochet, and just repeat that around until you have 24 stitches. So that's 1 by itself, 1 by itself, and then an increase of 2, 1 and 2. Okay, so just coming up to the last stitch, again we end on an increase of 2 single crochet, 23 and 24. Okay, so by the end of round 6 you should now have 24 stitches. So I'm just going to double check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Okay. So moving on to round 7, we're now going to work 1 single crochet in the next 3 this time, and then do our increase of 2 single crochet. So go straight into the next stitch without joining, and do 1 single crochet by itself, then 1 single crochet by itself in the next stitch, then 1 single crochet by itself in the next stitch, and then we're going to do our increase of 2 single crochet. So it's 1 and 2. And again, just repeat that round, doing 1 single crochet in the next 3, and then your increase of 2 single crochet until you have 30 stitches. Okay, so I'm just going to do that and then I'll come back. Okay, just coming up to the last stitch, which again we end on an increase of 2 single crochet. So it's 29 and 30 in the same stitch. Okay, so by the end of round 7 you should have 30 stitches, and it should look like a little pointy hat. And what we're going to do now is we're going to work 3 rounds of just 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So we just go straight into the next stitch, working 1 single crochet, and just do that in each stitch around, just doing 1 single crochet by itself. I'm going to do that for 3 rounds, so this is rounds 8, 9 and 10 of just 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, so I'm just going to do that and then I'll come back. Okay, so just come up to the very last stitch of round 10, 1 single crochet, and so there we are. So you should still have 30 stitches, and you should have worked 1 single crochet in each stitch around and did that for 3 rounds, so that's rounds 8, 9 and 10. Okay, so we're just going to move on to round 11, and we're going to work some decreases this time. So we're going to go straight into the next stitch, and we're going to work 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2 and 3, and then we're going to single crochet 2 stitches together. So we're going to go into the next stitch and grab our yarn and go into the next stitch and grab our yarn. So we've got 3 loops and yarn over and pull through all 3, and that works a decrease, single crocheting 2 stitches together. So we're going to repeat that round. We're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3, so that's 1 by itself, 1 by itself, 1 by itself, and then we work our single crochet 2 stitches together. So we go in the next stitch and grab our yarn, so we've got 2 loops, then straight into the next stitch, grab our yarn, so we've got 3 loops, then yarn over, pull through all 3, and then we go back to doing 1 single crochet in the next 3, 1, 2, 3, and then again we do our decrease again. So go into the next stitch, grab our yarn, into the next stitch, grab our yarn, then yarn over, pull through all 3, like so. And you want to keep doing that round back to the beginning until you go back down to 24 stitches. Okay, so just coming up to the very last 2, and we're going to single crochet those both together, and that completes round 11, and then by the end of that round you should be back down to 24 stitches. What we're going to do now is we're just going to stop there and we're going to pull our yarn up, and we're going to bring in our yellow yarn, and we're going to work the little dashes, the little pips onto the side. So you want to take a long enough length of your yellow yarn. I've chosen quite a pale yellow. You could also use white if you wanted to, or even a very pale green. Then we need our yarn needle. We're going to thread our yarn onto our yarn needle, and then all we need to do is going in from the inside. I'm going to start at the bottom. We're just going to come out through a stitch. Just bring our yarn through, leave a little end on the inside. And then what we're going to do, if you can see this, right above where you've just gone in for a stitch, you should see almost like a little heart shape on the stitches. We're going to go right for the centre of that, straight up. And we're going to go back through to the inside. The yarn through, and that creates a tiny little stitch like so, because we want to keep them quite small, we don't want them too big. So now I'm just going to move around, and I'm going to go into, say, this stitch, that stitch there, like so, making sure not to get tangled with our tail ends. So come up through there, and again, just right above, the little stitch looks like that, and you should see it looks almost like a little heart shape, and in the middle of that heart at the top, that's where we want to put our hook. So straight up and come back out on the inside, like so. I'm just going to keep working that round, and I'm going to just gradually move around till I end up at the top, and that keeps the yarn on the inside fairly close together, so we don't end up in a tangled mess. So again, I'm just going to come into the next stitch. Let's pick one down there, for example, and then I'm just going to find that little centre of the little sort of heart shape and go through straight up like so. So I'm just going to repeat that round, doing a few stitches where I feel it looks okay, until it looks a little something like that. And then I'm going to come back. Okay, so I've just finished sewing those, and all I'm going to do is remove my yarn needle, and then I'm just going to place the tail end of the yarn. I'm not going to sew it in or anything like that. I'm just going to push that down to the bottom and use it as stuffing. So it should look a little something like that. And it's quite important when you work these stitches not to pull too tightly, because it might distort the shape of your strawberry, so keep it quite loose. And okay, so the next thing to do is we're going to bring back our hook, and we're going to go on to round 12. And for round 12 we're going to just work single crocheting 2 stitches together all the way round. So we're just going to repeat that over and over. So we're going to go into the next stitch and grab our yarn, 2 loops, into the next stitch, grab our yarn, so you've got 3 loops, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops to create our single crochet 2 stitches together. We're just going to repeat that round, single crocheting 2 stitches together all the way round, and then that should reduce our stitch count down to 12. So we're literally halving it. So we'll just repeat that round like so. Okay, just going up to the last 2, single crochet those together as well. And that completes our round. So we're just going to pull our yarn up a little bit, and by the end of that round you should have 12 stitches now, so we should have literally divided in half. I'm going to stop there for a sec because now we're going to stuff our strawberry. And I'm going to stuff mine with some yarn scraps which I've built up, and oh, that might even be a hint of what I'm doing at Christmas time because it's sparkly. But you can also use toy stuffing as well if you want to. So I'm just going to stuff my strawberry, and then I'll come back. You don't want to stuff too tight, just make it nicely shaped. Okay, so when you're happy with stuffing your strawberry, I'm going to bring back your hook, same hook, and then we're going to single crochet 2 stitches together again in all the stitches around. So then we're reducing our stitch count from 12 down to 6. So we go straight into the next stitch, and then the next stitch to work a single crochet 2 stitches together, and just repeat that round, single crocheting 2 stitches together. Okay, so just coming up to the last 2, 11 and 12. Like so, and then you should have 6 stitches remaining. What we're going to do then is we're just going to cut our yarn a little length for sewing. We're going to pull our yarn up like so. Then we're just going to stitch the remaining hole closed. So thread that onto a yarn needle. We're just going to drawstring it close as it were. So we're going to go straight into the next stitch, then out for the next, and straight into the next stitch, out for the next, and this gradually drawstrings in the hole into the next, out for the next. So there we go. Then all we need to do now is to hide our tail end. So I'm going to go straight down for the middle, then out the side somewhere, doesn't matter where. And don't pull too tightly because we don't want to distort the shape of our strawberry. Then we're going to go back in the same hole that we've just come out of, and then out through somewhere else on our strawberry, doesn't matter where. So our tail end's going for all that stuffing on the inside, and that disappears. And we'll do that one more time, go back in where we've just come out, and let's come out on near the top, shall we? Again, don't pull too tightly. And we bring off our yarn needle, and then pushing our project down slightly, and then just keeping that tight, we're going to trim the end, and then the tail end should pop back on the inside. Okay, so there's our strawberry without the green. So all we need to do now is to make the green part at the top. So we're going to get our green yarn. Again, this is the same weight yarn as the red, so DK light worsted weight yarn. And I'm going to use the same hook. And this time we're going to work 5 single crochet into a magic circle. And if you don't like using the magic circle, you can chain 4, slip stitch into your first chain to form a loop, and then work the 5 single crochet into that loop if you want to. But I'm going to use the magic circle technique. Do our dummy stitch, and then work 5 single crochet. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and like so, and then we're going to just pull our tail end tight to close that loop. Then all I'm going to do is slip stitch into our first stitch to join the round, which is always really hard to do with the camera in front. I should do my best. There we go. So grab our yarn properly and just bring that through to slip stitch. So we've got something that looks a little something like that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then we're going to slip stitch into our second chain from hooks. We don't count this loop on our hook as a stitch, and that's our first stitch, our first chain, and then there's our second stitch. So we're going to go into that second one and we're going to do work a slip stitch like so, and then we're going to do a slip stitch in the next 2 chains. Let's get some more yarn. So go into the next chain down and work a slip stitch. Then go into the last chain and work a slip stitch. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work a single crochet in the same stitch that we slip stitched to join the round of our circle at the bottom. So at the bottom of those chains, going to go into the same stitch which we worked to slip, the very first slip stitch when we joined our loop. I'm going to go into there and work a single crochet. So that's all of those stitches are worked into the same stitch, as it were. And you create like this little leaf edge. And then in the next stitch along, back on the main circle, so working back on this main circle now, to the next stitch we're going to work a slip stitch like so. Then we're going to work on next one of these little edges. So we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in our second stitch from hook, so we don't count that, that's our first, that's our second, we're going to work a slip stitch. And then we're going to work a slip stitch in the next 2 chains as well, back down to our main circle. So that's a slip stitch in the next one, and a slip stitch in the next chain. That brings us back to our main circle. And we're going to work a single crochet in that same stitch on the circle. So when we, at the bottom of our chains, we worked that slip stitch on the main circle, we're going to go back into that same stitch and work a single crochet. So it's all done, all of that is done in the same stitch. Okay. So then we're going to go into the next stitch on our main circle and work a slip stitch. So this is the one we work our single crochets into. Then we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then work a slip stitch in our second stitch down from our hook, and then in the next 2 we work a slip stitch. So we're just repeating the same technique. Then back on our main circle in the same stitch at the bottom of our chains, we're going to work, going back in there again, we're going to work our single crochet. Okay, so that should leave you with 2 stitches on your main circle. So we're going to go straight into the next stitch on the main circle and work a slip stitch. Then we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, get some more yarn. Then we're going to work our slip stitch in our second chain, second stitch from hook, and then the next 2. So we're coming back down to our main circle And then we're going to work a single crochet in the same stitch at the bottom of our chains where we work that slip stitch. So work a single crochet in there. And that should leave us with 1 stitch out of our 5. So we're going to go into that last stitch and work a slip stitch. Then we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then slip stitch in your second stitch from hook. And then slip stitch in the next 2. One and 2. And then we're going to work our single crochet in the same stitch as at the bottom of our chains where we work that slip stitch in that last stitch. I'm going to work our single crochet. And that completes, almost completes our little green leaf. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to go into the next stitch along, just work a slip stitch just to join the round, as it were. Then we're going to leave a little tail for sewing. Fairly long tail actually. About that much. Pull our yarn up. There we go. And all that's left to do now is to sew our little green shape onto our strawberry. So the first thing to do is cut down this tail end, this little tail end from the beginning. Just cut that down. And then we're going to thread our longer tail end onto our yarn needle. And the first thing I'm going to do is get this yarn to the back. So I'm just going to go anywhere along, just along from the end, and sew out to the back. That just neatens off our edge, like so. So now our yarn's at the back, like so. Then we bring back our little strawberry, and then we're just going to sew this on, making sure to try and keep it central, although it doesn't matter because this one went slightly lopsided and actually created more character. So I'll try my best to keep it central. So we're just going to go in anywhere on our strawberry at the top, and we're going to come out on the side, doesn't matter where, and then make sure he's positioned how you want him. We're going to come back through the same hole we've just come out of. I'm going to come back up onto one of these edges at the bottom, just there. And make sure not to pull too tightly. That should just pop back on the inside. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to sew along down our edge, like so, and then come back out at the side. Like so, and that stitches it into place. Then we're going to come back up through the same hole we've just come out of to our next edge at the bottom. That should disappear on the inside. And then we're going to go down our leaf edge like so. Just come back out on the side somewhere, it doesn't matter where. That creates our next little stitch. We're just going to repeat that round for the other 3 lengths, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I've just finished sewing the rest of those edges on, and I'm just going to come back up to the top, like so. Sorry about the background noise. And then I'm just going to go back down again, and I'm just going to come out on the side somewhere. I'm going to hide this tail end on the inside. So come back down, and then I'm just going to go somewhere else, back down again. Let's come out over here somewhere. Pops on the inside, and then we're going to take our yarn needle off, and then pushing our project down slightly, keeping that a little bit tight, not too tight. Just going to trim that off, and then when our project bounces back up, that disappears on the inside. Yay. And there's our finished strawberry. So I can add that to the other strawberry. So there we go. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial and you managed to follow along. I just want to say a huge thank you to all the lovely comments that I've had lately, and to all my new subscribers and my old subscribers as well. It's really great to have you here. I'm glad you're enjoying the channel. And like I said, this was a suggestion from a subscriber to make a strawberry. So if you do have ideas for patterns you want to see on my channel, little quick easy ones, then do let me know, because I might just do them. But you can join me on facebook.com/happyberrycrochet. You can also join me on Twitter at /happyberryuk. Or you can go to my website at happyberry.co.uk, or you can go to my blog for more freebies as well at happyberrycrochet.blogspot.com. So I'm always happy to see you there. So I'm going to go now, and I shall see you soon for some more crochet fun. Thanks for watching. Bye!